As the Nuggets prepared to hook up with the Rockets for a mile-high battle last night, I'm sure no one would have been surprised to find out that Denver center Nikola Jokic was going to throw a ton of dimes out there, and Houston was intent to throw relative midgets out there to guard him in PJ Tucker and James Harden. But as the passes and points kept mounting, he wound up doing something no center had done since Wilt Chamberlain, and with this kind of creativity, something tells me Jokic will continue to wow us all with some of the most creative passes we'll ever see. The way Jokic exists in this offense, there are very specific methods he employs to maximize his vision and talent. The most popular action is the post-up down low, of course, and he leverages the skip pass to the weak side corner for maximum pressure on the defense. He doesn't even have to look, knowing the offense will always fill this spot once he gets the ball. The Nuggets' off-ball movement also serves to open up this pass. Watch Gary Harris cut in behind the defense, forcing Harden to rotate over. As soon as Harden takes that step, Jokic is throwing a softball over the defense to the waiting arms of Michael Porter Jr. Again, the weak side corner is automatically filled once he gets the ball down low. And watch how Jamal Murray adjusts his movement. Instead of a cut to the hoop, it's basically a flare screen for Harris as David Nwaba ends up setting a screen on his own man while Harris hits the wide open jumper. They'll use the pick and roll to force a switch and then let Jokic attack the mismatch down low. Let's break this down. Jokic first checks the corner to see where his teammate is and what the defense is doing. He spots Sterling Brown lurking and knows Nwaba will have to bump down to Porter Jr. I truly believe this pass was intended for the open Harris in the corner, but Porter reaches up to snag this out of the air and finish strong through contact. Same play in the second quarter where he's got a shorty on him and can easily see over him. There's that first check of the weak side corner, and he sees a 2-on-1 with PJ Tucker having to deal with both Millsap and Porter Jr. in the corner. He glances back out top for a second, and this must have made Tucker feel like he wasn't going to pass his way. But Jokic was just waiting for Millsap to take one more step towards him and take advantage of Wood's hands being down. Jokic goes to work again on that right block with a severe size mismatch. Now he's got some options despite the relatively poor spacing. Porter's man is going to come double, triggering this cut. Jokic begins power dribbling with his head facing Porter, but you can tell he's really keeping PJ Dozier in his peripheral vision. Dozier is just strolling down the lane, doing his best how not to be seen impersonation. Once Dozier gets under the hoop, it's quote-unquote a no-look pass, despite knowing he was there the whole time. This happens time and again in other games as well. Jokic goes to work on that low block, weak side corner is filled, and he knows the double will have to come as he gets this close to the basket. Watch Hield freeze once Jokic looks to the corner and fakes the pass. He adds a little fake to Millsap and then wraps it around the other side to slip it to him for an easy layup. Nikola Jokic had a surge in his play last year that has carried over to this season as well, and we got some insight into what the key for him was.
I was a little bit overweight, and then now I lost a lot of weight, and I'm feeling good out there. Our strength coach Felipe, he just gave me a little diet, little workout plans, and we can go through that together.
And it's a healthy diet that should have you motivated to improve your performance, especially starting with your breakfast. Too many cereals are filled with sugar and chemicals you really shouldn't be eating, and that's where Magic Spoon comes in. They've created incredible tasting cereals that have no sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs. Each of their 4 flavors tastes so good, I swear I could not put the bowl down, whether I was working on my shot in the driveway or just sitting on the couch working my thumbs on Twitter. My favorite flavors right now are frosted and fruity, and it's almost impossible to believe Magic Spoon cereals don't have sugar. It's literally too good to be true. The folks over at Magic Spoon gave me my own page, so click on my link, use my promo code BBALL, and get free shipping on a variety pack. I'm positive you'll really like it, but if you don't, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/bball and use the code bball for free shipping. And without all those carbs and sugar, you'll be grabbing the boards and running out of the high post, just like Jokic does after setting the ball screen, which usually forces a switch. This is where you get a lot of the fun stuff, as he calls Barton over for the handoff. House gets into the passing lane, so Barton cuts back on the other side. But it's not enough to hand it off where he's open. No, Jokic wants this to be a scoring opportunity at the rim, so he wraps it around his own defender, leading Barton right to the rim for the finish. What? Here's another example of this short roll to the free throw line, and he's able to catch Chris Wood again with his arms down, allowing this beauty to whiz by his hair on the way to a Millsap inside hand layup. I've got to stress how much of an advantage it is to force this switch and allow Jokic to see right over the smaller defender. As he backs down in the lane, it's natural to want to go and double team and support. Millsap wants to get invisible, so he's as low as possible, but in reality he's out of bounds and the refs miss this call badly. But check how Jokic uses the look to the corner, where he sets up so many shots to fool the defense and gets him another dime off a layup. Without them forcing this switch and having such a huge size advantage, he's not making these passes so easily, as Gary Harris is doing the Walter Payton high step out of bounds, but does get in legally before catching it for another layup. Against the Clippers, they try to run a slice screen along the baseline that was about to open up a layup for Millsap, hence Paul George taking a step in that direction. Jokic doesn't even have to look to the corner to throw this pass, forcing the closeout that Harris attacks into the middle for the finger roll. Wow. Running two-man games on one side of the floor is another way the Nuggets operate their offense, particularly with Gary Harris and Jokic together. Harris is looking for the shot on the handoff. It flows right into a step-up screen. It could have turned into a post-up for Jokic, but instead, we get a wraparound cut for the dump-off pass and a strong finish at the rim. Here's another two-man pinch post action where Jokic receives the ball and Harris follows his pass. Again, Harris is open here, but Jokic knows if he waits a few more steps, he'll still be open there and for an even easier shot. This curl around Jokic action is so lethal that faking it gets defenders in all sorts of bad positions, as Millsap cuts backdoor and the Joker hits him with the over-the-head flip pass. There's great flow to this offense if the first or second options don't materialize. The handoff isn't open, neither is the curl around to the hoop, so MPJ cuts over the top looking for the handoff himself. Great defense so far, so it flows into a pass to Pick, and that gets him an assist where Porter did most of the heavy lifting. Which leads me to my next question. How many incredible assists are we going to miss in real time because he throws them so early in the possession, while the cameras are still focused on the opposing team's players? This happened in the Clippers game as well, as a testament to how quickly he can scan down floor and make accurate 50-foot passes. Against Sacramento, we finally got to see the pass the whole way through, and it's a big deal to be able to consistently set up teammates for scores like this. Of course, to get to a number as high as 18 assists, you're gonna need your teammates on a few of these to help you out by doing most of the heavy lifting after the pass. Again, Jokic calls Murray over to get a handoff, and he hits the long two with some space. In transition, not many 7-footers are going to run the break like this. He sees Millsap open and knows he will remain open a little while longer, so he glances back to his left just in case there's an even better option before making the no-look pass to the corner so Paul can rise up and hit the three. This gets to the post so early in the possession, no one has gotten to the weak side corner yet, but I love this highlight pass Jokic throws often. By the way, Millsap travels his ass off here, but whatevs. He does the heavy lifting to get all the way to the hoop and finish strong through his defender. Here's another possession where he's the point guard, gets to the elbow. Notice how he's immediately checking that weak side corner before paying attention to the split in front of him. Interestingly, Jokic misses the pass for the easier shot to an open Millsap, but earns an assist anyway as Barton pump fakes into a jumper with no contest from the defense. And we finish off with the 18th assist as Monte Morris sets the ball screen then rolls. With such a small defender on Jokic, it's easy to drop this off and Morris does the rest, as Denver wins this game easily. Keep your eye on Jokic and the sheer amount of assists he's generating for this team. Their defense has been porous so far, so unless it drastically improves soon, they're going to have to find success by outscoring teams. And with a facilitator like Jokic in the middle, That shouldn't be too hard. If you like this video, you're going to love my new YouTube membership. There are 3 tiers to choose from, all with tremendous bonus content, including private watch parties. Join me for the next time these two play, and you can come on the show as well. You in?